Whenever I make a Wagner video, I always feel I have the most apologising, well, if not apologising, at least explaining to do. And that's probably because Wagner's music is the hardest mainstream classical music to actually enjoy. If you don't know or like Wagner's music, it can seem to go on endlessly. To quote Wagner's nemesis, the music critic Hanslick, a little motif begins, but before it develops into a real melody, it is bent over and broken through incessant modulations with avoidance of all cadences. This boneless tonal mollusk swims ever on into the immeasurable. Well, for all you Wagner doubties, I may have a cure for your Wagnerian blues. A trick that makes his music much easier both to listen to and understand. The trick? Don't listen to the voice in Wagner, listen to the orchestra. Let me show you what I mean with what is probably my favourite bit of Wagner, the climax to his opera Tristan and Isolde. It's a big climax. We've been heading here for a while before we burst into... Now I'm sure you're following the voice for that climax, or were you? If we listen again, what are we really paying attention to? The voice or the orchestra? If your ears are anything like mine, it's the orchestra, and specifically the violins, that are really holding the tune here. So, my tip is pay more attention to the orchestra than the voice, and that's because Wagner treats melody differently from most other opera composers, and explaining that requires a little context. You see, for many people, well, actually I say many people, I mean me. For me, when I first started liking opera, Wagnerian opera typified everything I thought was old and boring about opera. Large people on stage singing endlessly without anything actually happening. Which is, of course, a shame and a terrible irony, since Wagner's opera was, in its day at least, seen as the music of the future. Wagner wasn't interested in just serving up nice tunes for his audience. He hated the opera of his day, with what seemed to him its shallow stagecraft and fake posturing. It seemed ridiculous to him that characters could sing an aria and then receive applause from the audience. Wagner wanted to transport his audience fully into a different realm, whether it was Valhalla or the inner psyches of Tristan and Isolde. He wanted to transport his audience there without interruption, and that meant doing away with all the traditional arias, the choruses, the ballets, the recitatives, all the traditional structures of the opera of his day. Nowadays, with cinema, where the drama flows from beginning to end, this all makes total sense, which is another tip I recommend when dealing with Wagner's music. Think film music. And how coincidentally, Hollywood's classic cinema does sound so Wagnerian, and it's not just that the early creators of the Hollywood sound were devotees of Wagner, which they were, it's how Wagner's music actually inherently works. The orchestra comments and adds to the drama in a film score just as Wagner does in his operas. Remember, Wagner didn't want the sweet songs of Italian opera. He was trying to remove the breaks and create an endless melody, a single flow of music and drama from the beginning of the opera to the end. Yes, Wagner's music can sound so fluid that trying to get a handle on it is like trying to grasp water. But as I said before, listen to the orchestra first, the singers second. I hear the structure of Wagner's music much more clearly from the instruments. Okay, I'll leave it there for now. Next video, we're going to use our Wagner tip of being sensitive to the orchestra and apply it properly to the climax of Tristan Isolde. So do check that out. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you.